Hey everybody, welcome back to the TrashRats podcast, the only podcast on YouTube that is completely apolitical, no politics, none of the time. I'm your host, Monkey Jones / Simeon Jimmy, joined as always by the only man who gets high and drunk off of cigarettes, Rusty Cage.
What's up, everyone? Glad to be back again.
How many cigarettes you smoked before this show? Like 4, 5?
Yeah, actually, just about 4 or 5. I'm on my third pack until
introduce me too.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, and it ranked in the top 2 in terms of pool brothers. We have Reactor.
Hey, yeah, that's me.
And joining us today is a very special guest, a comedy musician who was actually good. It's about time we had one of those on this show, Mr. Rucka Rucka Ali.
Hey guys,
what's up, Rucka?
not much. Now I got Rusty Cage stuck in my head. Are you named after the song, or am I just a boomer?
You know, I mean, I'm also probably a similar aged boomer, but when I made the name, I really wasn't thinking about the song, but it was such a stupid choice because now I'm just constantly, battling Soundgarden and Johnny Cash in search results.
Oh, right. Or getting some of their traffic, if you think about it.
yeah. Hopefully that's benefiting me.
At least you didn't name yourself Niga Higa. There's a guy who probably regrets it every day.
Well, I was thinking about like Rich Chiga. When he changed his name, that just seemed so weak. But I mean, I guess I get it. He wanted to, I don't know, break into the mainstream by going as Rich Brian instead, which is a considerably less cool name.
Yeah. True.
No. Maybe I'll change it. Who knows?
Well, the other guy's dead, so you might as well keep it.
Wait, who
Rusty
is?
speak?
Chris Cornell.
Oh, shit, yeah, they're all dead. Yeah, Johnny Cash and Chris Cornell. Good. Whatever.
Yeah, fuck him.
Rusty, speaking of big changes, I think if my math is correct, the final day of your 30-day sobriety challenge is tomorrow. So how are you holding up, and what are your plans for Halloween?
Well, considering COVID cases are spiking once again, I mean, I was going to have a party on Halloween, but I don't think I'm going to do that anymore.
Well, I follow this guy on Twitter named Reactor, and Reactor told me that Corona is a liberal hoax, so you shouldn't be worried about it.
I know these liberals, they're just taking over the entire world with their hoax. Well, it's very possible that it is, but I mean, one way or the other, I'm going to get drunk.
They renamed the flu coronavirus.
Oh yeah, so now every time anyone is sick, it's COVID-19.
Yeah, the flu disappeared from the face of the earth, and now we have this coronavirus.
Now, Rucka, I saw a video of yours probably at the beginning, like back in February, and it was the was it like the Ebola song?
Probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that one's been out since 2014, but I kind of rebooted it with the Corona theme around March or April.
Mm-hmm.
True. All right. I'm not sure if I saw the updated one, but like that Ebola song, how the fuck did you get away with that? I feel like there was so much shit involved in that music video that was definitely controversial enough that YouTube would just instantly take it down and give you a strike. But it seems like it's got 53 million views.
Yeah, me and YouTube, we sort of agree to disagree.
It's a nice cooperation you guys got going then.
Yeah, they're like at first they've deleted plenty of shit. I mean we have a whole history, so it's like I guess your question, it would be like asking the French in like the height of their wars, them in England had a bunch of wars, right? It'd be like smack in the middle, being like, what's up with you and England fighting that one battle? They'd be like, I don't know. It's like this is ongoing thing, been happening forever. So it's hard to isolate just one.
Let's compare some stats. Sure. I think I've lost, maybe 5 YouTube channels to bullshit termination. How many have you gone through so far?
At least that many.
But you've been doing this like for a long time. Like if I recall, you're one of like the original comedy pioneers of the internet. I'm I was listening to your stuff on the school bus fucking like 12 years ago.
Jesus.
Shit.
Fucking Justin Bieber song and shit, man. That takes me back.
Well, I don't know if Bieber is like more of a celebrity similarity, Justin's Beaver, but yeah, shit. It is pretty surreal having people, you know, YouTubers, you know, like people who are in the public light saying they grew up watching my shit. But yeah, it's I've been around for a minute, but in 2008, towards the end of 2008, I felt like I was late to the party, you know, because there was already like a lot happening on YouTube, even on MySpace, you know.
Yeah. I mean, 2008 definitely was. That's probably right around when I was started making videos as well. I don't know. It still seemed like it was relatively fresh. Like it was.
Yeah.
I kind of forget what it was like back then, but you could definitely get away with
like
anything.
Anything. Yeah. No one was looking at your stuff. No one cared.
Yeah. So I figured why change? You know, if you could get away with anything, then why not just get away with anything? Why let them decide? You know.
Could you imagine if, internet free speech actually happens and people can post anything they want? It's going to go back to like 2007.
That'd be awesome.
Well, is anybody advocating for that?
Do you think that's why people have changed? I think it's really like social pressure that's changed people. Like you look at all the, you know, edgy YouTubers and stuff. I mean, they censor themselves partially for like monetization, but also they're like embarrassed, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's kind of what I was saying with Rich Chiga going as Rich Brian. It's like retroactively trying to clean up your act as though you never in the past made any edgy content that could come around and bite you in the ass. I mean, I guess isn't that essentially what Joji's doing with Filthy Frank?
Oh, I saw something about that.
Yeah, true. I mean, he seems like he's genuinely like ready to move on from that whole thing, and or I should say, he seems to be positively driven towards like music. So it's not like he's completely embarrassed. Like it's not like it's all driven by embarrassment, but he also, in addition, seems to be kind of embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't think I'm not saying that I think he's embarrassed, but I mean, he's definitely trying to do something completely different, and in order to become like a more mainstream musical artist, you know, you can't just keep side posting as like a Pink guy or just doing Filthy Frank videos. Like, you gotta leave that behind.
Didn't he quit that a long time ago?
I don't think we can really blame him specifically, because if you've looked at his channel, like even this year, they've terminated or deleted all of the Cake Trilogy videos. So I think he got out while the getting was good. I doubt he would be monetized and everything if he was still posting the same shit today.
Yeah, but like his Pink Guy music, his music could have still been popular, and could be selling merch and stuff. So he could have still been doing it, you know? He could still be doing the Filthy Frank thing if he wants to, but he seems to want to do regular music, and he's pretty successful at it.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like if Weird Al had a Weird Al project and then music that he takes very seriously, and he's trying to make both of them work. It just wouldn't happen. Yeah, it'd be too confusing.
Yeah.
I thought Hardware Store was a pretty serious song.
Or Trapped in the Drive-Thru. That one got pretty intense.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't think I finished it. It's like 20 hours long.
Oh.
It's only 11 minutes.
Rucka, have you tried to do something similar? Like, I'm sorry if I'm not very familiar, but have you tried to do like more serious music stuff as well as your YouTube, maybe more comedy songs?
Yeah, occasionally. Like I here and there, like I just kind of do one song at a time. So like I had a song called Malevolent Universe that was kind of like my first time like serious sort of like dark poem type of reading, and then I've done a couple of like those since then. And recently my newest song is called Conscious Rapper. It seems like something it seems for some reason like I feel like Reactor would be into that. Like it's like some hard white boy energy. Reactor, yeah. Am I correct?
Yeah,
in thinking you might be
it's
into
like, I mean,
like Atmosphere.
Yeah,
yeah, like
it's
like
more
rapping
serious than his
like rapping about the issues and making a difference. So it's like the title itself, it's sort of like lampooning that genre.
Right,
kind of giving like my opinion of the genre as well as my sort of alternate perspective. So it's so interestingly enough, my newest My newest song is sort of on the serious side, and the one I released right before that it's called Shane Dawson, and it's sort of commemorating what it was like back in the day when you could say anything you wanted. So everything we've discussed so far has been my most recent lyrical content.
Yeah, you're making a transition through. That's a smooth transition. It's not like a hard divide between something that would be a comedy rap and then something that's super serious. Like you're still using, I don't know, a similar flow, similar type of lyrical pattern. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say right now, but
I think it's personality driven, no matter which one I'm doing. So it's not the contrast is not nearly as sharp as like Filthy Frank versus his alter ego, heartthrob singer, where it's like you would never know they're the same guy because they're both Asian, so you just can't tell it's the same guy. But I mean, like I said, it's one song at a time. So probably my next song, it might just be like a parody of like an Ariana Grande song with like some stereotype jokes in there, kind of like people are used to. So it's not like I've decisively turned away from what I was doing. But these departures are always interesting and challenging.
Now, a problem that I always have is when I'll get like a message or something, someone will say, "Hey, Rusty, I really love your music. It helped me out through a hard time. My favorite song is the family-friendly new song." Or the Knife Game song. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I was hoping that they'd listen to some of the albums I put out, like some of the stuff that I take seriously, and it rarely is.
So do you feel a lot more passionate about your serious music than Rust?
I mean, it takes me a lot more time, but it's not near as popular, so whatever.
But the people who really like you or like huge fans do know all that stuff, and they wouldn't have found it without your Knife Game song, right?
Yeah, and right. And so I think that's a similar thing. Like you can put out more jokey style songs that are going to be, hits no matter what on YouTube, but as long as that brings people in, then they can still buy your other songs. Are you selling your music online, like streaming services and whatnot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, people always, they're always going to have their favorites. For me, a lot of people, they just kind of send me these general kind of messages like, "Hey, I love your shit. You cheer me up." So, I don't, like most people don't like single out any particular song, but the sort of serious departures, sometimes they do get a certain type of person to reach out, and they brought in kind of more of a female audience, like young, but like I went from having like 99% male and down to like 96% male audience.
Damn, man, I'm jealous.
By having like songs about like suicide and whatnot. So yeah, that's what you got to do. Girls love hurting themselves, so you got to
oh god,
got to exploit that by all means.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So how the fuck, Mumkey? This has got to be a surreal moment for you. I mean, you're talking to like one of your heroes from when you were riding the bus to school.
Wow.
Yeah, I've listened to Rucka on the best debate in the universe, so I've listened to him podcast for like 100 hours. So it's kind of cool to now be podcasting with him.
Wow, all comes full circle.
Yeah,
I've definitely
move on to some news stories.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. So because okay, this one, it's really really weird. Don't know how it happened. Okay, so it's headlined, "Tourist blames 6-year-old son for how her gun got stashed outside Magic Kingdom." And
okay.
So basically, I'll just read it. "A Disney World tourist accused of ditching a loaded handgun behind a planter near the Magic Kingdom's security checkpoint had an unusual excuse for how the weapon got there. She blamed her 6-year-old son, who she said was supposed to be watching the gun," an Orange County Sheriff's Office report says. So,
well, listen, all right, Mumkey, we went to Disney World, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
You don't realize what you may or may not have in your pocket until you're getting close to that security checkpoint. Because there's fucking cops
when
and
you're
guards
putting your
everywhere.
keys in your wallet in your pocket, do you accidentally put a loaded gun in there too?
No, but that last time I did have an Adderall in my pocket, and I fucking freaked out, and I just dropped it on the ground.
Heaven forbid.
Because I saw
it's a pill.
I saw a dog, and I was like, "Ah, man, fuck this! I'm not getting some."
That could be your
like,
prescription medication. Why didn't you just take it?
I guess because I don't know.
Disney on Adderall would have been way better. You were miserable that whole day.
Yeah. All right. So listen, this lady had a gun in her pocket, and then she realized, oh fuck, I got to get rid of that real quick.
I'm guessing it was like her purse or something, but
did she not want to go back to the car? Like, is the car carousel really that long of a wait?
Or maybe she did go to her car, and that's why, and like she had the gun in her purse, and she told her kid to watch it.
Fucking, and this kid just drops it behind a trash can. Well, listen, you're walking back to your car. Now all the guards are looking at you funny. They're going, where's that person going? They're walking suspiciously. They know you have a gun, so you got to just kind of sleight of hand it to your 6-year-old and tell them to go get an ice cream cone and drop it behind a bush.
Because 6-year-olds aren't going to do time.
So they should be more surprised if a Florida woman doesn't have a gun.
Yeah, I think everyone should have a gun at Disney World.
And make it a lot more fun, for sure.
It also shows that they're going to bring a gun to Disney World.
Hey, this is kind of a boomer reference here. Do you guys know the show? Remember Loveline on the radio?
Fuck yeah, dude! I used to listen to that. Every morning.
Morning. Oh, I mean, like it was.
Oh shit! No, that was late at night. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they used to play Germany or Florida. Where man. A crazy news story. So are you guys from Florida, or did you travel to go to Disney World?
No, I'm from Florida. I was born and raised here.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember Germany versus Florida. It would just be they would just bring up a crazy story. I think at the time I was listening, it was right when that guy in Germany invited someone out to be killed and eaten by him. And it was just stories like that. I mean, Florida gets a bad rap, but I don't think we're cannibalizing necessarily.
Every state probably has someone eating another human.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get reported
you're
on
a
as
Florida
much.
guy?
No, I've only been once. Went to Playlist Live with all the other normies.
Shit, yeah, I just went out there last year. It was like right when COVID was dropping. There's just a mass of about 200,000 kids all trying to race to see James Charles.
Yeah, that's just weird, right? Like VidCon and Playlist, it's like you go there, you're like, am I going to be arrested for being here right now? Like, it's like a bunch of little kids, and and like all the like real YouTubers are like, there's like all these pretty boys and all these models. It's like I never knew all this shit was happening on YouTube, right? Like I thought it was just the shit that I watch.
Right.
So yeah,
there's like
I got pretty
modeling agencies.
Yeah, there's a lot happening on YouTube, turns out. But yeah, I don't really go to that shit anymore. Now VidCon is digital, of course. It's virtual because of the COVID. So they're trying to push these panels in your face. You see that?
Yeah, no, I've been seeing they keep wanting like me to rate their digital VidCon. It's like I did not attend digital VidCon, nor will I ever. It's fucking stupid. And the real one's fucking stupid. Everyone just hangs out at the bars outside of it.
Yeah.
Right. And the panels are like the worst part, and they're trying to push it on you. It gets like 100 views on YouTube. And this is supposed to be like the most popular, sought after creators.
Yeah, it's like a desperate attempt to, not lose millions, I guess, however much they did.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Monkey,
Reactor, I was going to ask
if
this story has a happy ending. Like, did they give the gun back to the woman, and did she shoot somebody?
No, she was later arrested and charged with carrying a concealed firearm.
But she wasn't carrying it. She hid it behind the trash can.
I think that's why she gave it to her kid, because the cops can't arrest a 6-year-old. So the kid should be
arrested.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I mean, like, I don't understand how the law doesn't apply to children.
It should. I mean, that 6-year-old had a loaded gun. He's dangerous.
I mean, aren't they constantly arresting children for like making handgun gestures at school and
only
drawing pictures of guns?
Mm-hmm. Or if you have a toy gun at home.
Oh yeah, right. Well, that was the Zoom call where the kid had the gun in the background.
Yeah, he was in virtual class and he had a toy in the background.
Well, Rucka, you seem like you're probably from a time where school shootings were still just starting to pop off.
Yeah, it was all new and exciting.
Back when it was still Columbine and you couldn't wear a trench coat.
Oh yeah, back when Marilyn Manson and Eminem were to blame.
And they still are.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Well, thank God the trench coat made a comeback, because that's my favorite fashion accessory.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
see my
kind of
gun
like,
under it.
was that like kind of the birth of the incel? Was that like the original kind of MGTOW,
No.
whatever you call
That
these
was
people?
it was just the first famous one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like incels have existed throughout history, and we could probably attribute that to many historical figures. I mean, wasn't like Mozart a virgin when he died, or
No,
the guy
Mozart
who
was like a
invented
pimp.
gravity?
Who invented Grad Newton?
Yeah, wasn't he a virgin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
I
gay
heard
too,
that.
so I don't know how that works.
Oh, a gay virgin? He's a gay incel?
That's the worst. Who's the guy who blew
I
up
don't
like
know.
the Oklahoma City bomber? That guy was like an incel.
Are we just guessing here?
Rusty, you can tell by looking at their face.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you don't really get like swept up in to be a pawn in a movement unless you're kind of like struggling with getting laid. Like if Lee Harvey Oswald was just getting massive pussy, not giant pussy, but like a lot of it left and right, I doubt he would really have time to conspire to murder the president or be a communist.
Was he a
So really,
communist?
it's
Is that
women's
what it was?
fault for all these school shootings because they're not sleeping with the incels, right, Rusty? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, I think isn't that what Ellen Poe said?
I think that's what you said.
Well, I'll accept it.
I mean-
yeah, I said that. Might as
Science
well.
is sound.
What?
I said the science is sound.
Yeah.
It should work
Well,
out.
Reactor, you got another story for us?
Yeah. So this one's pretty cool, actually. It's from News Australia. It's talking about Costco pulling products allegedly made with forced monkey labor.
No!
A supermarket giant has dumped a number of products believed to use forced labor from monkeys in their supply chain. So we didn't realize this, I guess, but humans are
Obsolete?
domesticating monkeys for slavery. Is it slavery if they're monkeys?
I mean, I don't think so.
I'm not touching this
mean-
one with a 10.
Reactor, is that how you want to phrase it?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean that's the story.
I mean, as the resident monkey of the podcast, I've got to say this story is outrageous and disgusting to me, that they're using forced monkey labor to do anything. Monkeys tend to be very willing to do things if you give them treats and such. I don't know
Oh, that's
why.
probably what it is. They're probably not tasing the monkeys. They're probably giving them food, you know?
Yeah, but like, what kind of products
Okay.
are these? I mean, are these
So
like
is it
macaques
forced
or-
labor?
Well, probably
Is
if
it
they
forced
can't run
labor when
away.
you ride a horse?
yeah, right?
Yeah, I'd
I
say
mean,
so.
is there any other type of labor with animals?
Yeah.
They don't.
They're just domesticating them
you can't have a
for.
contract.
I mean, I'm surprised humans didn't do it sooner. Actually, like just have monkeys waiting on you.
Oh shit! You ever see the original Planet of the Apes series?
Yeah.
The there was like 5 of them, and I think the 4th one begins with a bunch of monkey slaves in like wearing clothes. They were like training them to do all the work,
Yeah.
and then one of them, it only took one to like get smart. And,
Yeah, well, that was the
Rise up.
problem.
And
Yeah,
it started over.
once you allow them an education and let them learn how to read, the
What,
whole
did they let the
thing falls
monkeys
apart.
vote too?
Eventually, I mean, someone had to let them. And you see where that brought everyone to a new dystopia.
so-
what are these monkeys
So
making?
in the
Yeah, what are the companies that need to boycott?
what? Costco.
I'm going to
It just said
boycott whatever
Costco.
company. Oh, it's only Costco?
Yeah. Costco, I guess,
Fuck them. I go to
found out
Sam's
about
Club.
it and dropped them.
Well, I
'Cause of the PETA
am highly
investigation.
skeptical of that story. I feel like without more information, it seems like they might have just been getting started on their monkey production line slavery ventures.
Like, I don't know. They're making it sound like there's like a monkey house out in a big field and the monkeys go out and pick these like melons or something.
Rusty, you should hire a monkey to draw your
Climbing
comic book.
trees and grabbing coconuts.
You're saying a monkey would do a better job of drawing my comic than I would?
I guarantee it would look better.
All right, maybe I will.
I'm more likely to buy a comic book illustrated by a monkey than you.
Well, send me your mother's number and maybe I'll hit her up.
What does that mean?
She's a monkey.
The monkey side of the family is my dad's side, you fucking imbecile.
So you're only half monkey?
Yeah. It's really sad.
Rucka, how has this whole COVID situation been affecting you and your life? Do you take it seriously? Do you give a fuck? Is this a giant Chinese conspiracy?
I mean, yes and no. How's that for an answer?
Fair.
I like everyone. I was at first I was like, wait, is this like the end of the world? Like, is anything gonna be the same? And then like I think the riots also kind of added this sort of Armageddon sort of feeling to things. Like, is it all over now?
Yeah, it kind of feels like it is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or was.
It's like now we're a week out from voting, so the roller coaster is coming to a stop. You know?
Oh yeah, if this shit doesn't just pass,
like,
I'm gonna fucking bust a nut.
Yeah, at first I was definitely like preparing for full on Armageddon, like stocking my pantry and buying up all the toilet paper because I'm not going to be one of these fucking animals that are in my backyard spraying my ass with a hose.
Yeah.
Is that what the fear was?
Everyone's going, well,
across
why are
the
you buying
country,
up toilet
everyone's
paper?
like,
I'm
I'm
like,
not spraying my ass with a hose. Shit's cold.
how were people planning on wiping their ass without toilet paper? I mean, I
could
get
get
it.
a
It's a
bidet
luxury.
for like $20.
Just take a shower.
Yeah, there's that.
Just stop shitting.
Can you
Get
imagine
hand
what the
soap.
drain would
Use your
look
hands.
like at the bottom of your shower, just with particulate of shit just collecting there?
Well, I didn't mean shit in the shower.
Well, I mean, if you're taking a shit and then taking a shower, I mean, something's coming out. And you don't
Shit
have
in the
anything to wipe
tub.
your ass with.
Shit into the bathtub. All
Like
right.
a homeless man. We were betting on the election, trying to. I have $100 against Mumkey that Trump.
We're
will
betting
be
who will
inaugurated.
be inaugurated in January. Rucka, if you had to weigh in, who do you think will actually become the next president?
Probably Biden.
Oh, finally somebody on this show agrees with me. Fucking finally.
Yeah, I think it's confirmation bias. You know, is that what they call it when like you? No, it's probably not what that is. But when you only basically know people that like know the same people as you, you think everyone is the same. But just like with VidCon, you know, you go there, you realize there's this whole section of the population that has like nothing in common with me. So maybe in like the world of like Twitter, it seems like everyone's like sick of the left or whatever. But like in reality, like Biden is gonna win. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Reactor.
I'm kind of starting to think that maybe he is.
Reactor tweeted out today he thinks Trump's going to win California and New York. He's fucking crazy.
Not DC.
Oh, wow.
Not DC or Minnesota, though.
Yeah, you're a madman.
Well, he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't have money on that aspect of it. I mean, he's got like this crazy bet.
What?
I wonder if Trump is one of the few presidents that lost his own home state.
New York, I think he did.
Yeah, he must. But I wonder if he's like
that
one
his
of the
home
only
state?
ones, because aren't you usually like guaranteed to win your home state? But if it's New York and you're a Republican, obviously you lose. So I wonder.
Yeah. I mean, that's if it's New York or California, like you're kind of fucked anyways. Didn't someone lose their own home state when it was Arizona? Maybe just be making that up or misremembering. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't know how you keep up with staying so fully political all the time. Like
Because he goes through his Facebook feed and any dumb bullshit he sees, he just posts on Twitter as if it's real.
Wait, what?
I'm talking about you.
No, I don't.
Okay.
All right, well, that settles
I
that.
mean,
I guess.
I post stuff on Facebook, but I don't look for
You go
any
straight
dumb
to your
stuff.
aunt's Facebook feed, copy paste, go over to a Twitter tab, and just fucking go for it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, you mean my uncle? My uncle. He always says weird shit, so I play off that.
Yeah, Uncle Reactor.
Mm-hmm.
Rucka, weren't you in like the political sphere a few years back?
Yeah, weren't you running for office?
Yeah. I was actually a governor. No, I was never really in the political sphere, but I was kind of like interacting with a lot of like commentary people that were vocal at the time. Like I talked to Sargon a couple times and stuff like that. There used to just be a lot of live streams constantly. All these like Google Hangout broadcasts. So I used to talk to Warski way back when he was like mainstream, back when he was like, you know, just the guy who reacted to like MTV Decoded.
Right. Now he's like completely off. I don't know what the fuck he's doing now, but that's got to be weird. So much seems to have changed since like 2016, where, you know, one year you're on a live stream with like an up and coming Sargon, and then 2 years later he's running for prime minister or fucking whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah, that was pretty weird, but you know, nothing really surprises me anymore about the world, so it's not that weird.
That's a good place to be when all the magic in the world has faded away and you're just kind of like the dry skeletal remains.
I just want some peace and quiet. Like my fear about this election is just that like it's just gonna bring about crazy violence no matter who wins. So like,
can you give us your worst case scenario? Because we were talking about those last week, and I like to hear new ones.
Yeah. Okay. Worst case scenario, like let's say Trump wins, the left really starts to riot, and then like Trump becomes a complete like strong man dictator, and and everyone is just so sick of the violence that they're just willing to go with it.
That's Reactor's dream scenario.
Yeah, so that's the good part. The bad part is no. But I mean, so much can go wrong when people are just like not being civilized.
Oh yeah. I mean, in all civility, seems like it's dropped incredibly with COVID. I mean, everyone seems to have an excuse now to be uncivilized, and to even have an opinion, to even say it's uncivilized is it will get you fucking thrown in the gulags, to be
mob
cliche.
justice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess most of us have already either been canceled or well on our way.
Yep.
Yeah. Good point. Rusty, did you have a song about Corona as well?
Yeah, man, it's really fucking lame. I think that's why I saw your videos, because I was like, I don't know if it was before or after I made mine. I for some reason in my head I thought I was gonna be like one of the first people that made a coronavirus song. I didn't realize I was about a month and a half too late. Like by early February, it was already, you know, it'd already been done. But I made a song, and YouTube had taken it down, then they put it back up, and now it's just another scar on my channel.
I remember people tweeting about like the YouTube reprimanding you, so that's how I noticed it, and it must be nice to like have like a community of people that like look out and stick up for you.
Oh fuck yeah, man! I mean, this is relatively new, because I mean, yeah, you get your shit taken down and there's just nothing you can do. I just got lucky on that last one. Like, I guess it just enough people were talking about it on Twitter, and then I don't know if YouTube was also just kind of going through some some shitty stage because COVID was just starting and they were trying to take down anything that could be controversial related to COVID, like misinformation or dangerous information or whatever. So I think my video just got like thrown into that box, even though it was just satire.
I can see that happening too. Yeah, it's a delicate subject because of all the like dangerous information or whatever. So like, I'm surprised Reactor isn't banned from Twitter for having an opinion as a tax-paying American. Yeah.
As soon as Biden is in office, Reactor's getting banned from everything.
They're going to re-educate me, or at least that's what Bernie wants. Bernie said
put you
he
in a
wants
Uyghur Muslim camp.
Yeah, they're going to re-educate me.
You know, speaking of like 2016 free speech warriors, like, where is everyone on this? The Charlie Hebdo, the people are getting killed in France over cartoons again. Do you even know about this?
Yeah.
No, I was just looking up Charlie Hebdo. I didn't
they're
know
killing racists in France, right?
Yeah, they're killing racists. Like over cartoons. Yeah, I mean, it's like just literally same exact thing. Not even drawing it this time. A middle school teacher showed the cartoon from Charlie Hebdo a couple weeks ago to her class, or his class, just saying like, this happened, and the next day was beheaded with like a kitchen knife.
Oh my God.
And then a few days ago, or yesterday, or whenever it was, 3 people were killed in France also, screaming Allahu Akbar, but we don't know if, like, I don't know what.
It's up in the air.
No clear motivation at this time. But I mean, where's Dave Rubin? Where's Tucker Carlson? Where's all these people who act like every little inching little creeping movement away from free speech is like the end of life as we know it. Like, here's actual people getting killed for speech, and all they want to talk about is beating Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, it's because right now America is in a battle for free speech against Joe Biden, so they're focusing on that. No one cares about the outside world for the next week.
Is Joe Biden opposed to free speech, or?
According to Reactor, he's opposed to everything.
Yeah, he's opposed to fun. He's opposed to wealth, but he's in favor of taxing.
Well, so
taxing the rich people with over $400,000 a year.
I think with the Charlie Hebdo thing, like, everyone was very vocal when that had happened, and it kind of slowly transformed into being in support of Charlie Hebdo. I mean, this is just how I was remembering it. Being in support of Charlie Hebdo was good at first. Everyone in all languages was saying, like, Je suis Charlie and whatnot. But then it became an attack on Islam. And I felt like I was hearing more of a narrative like, yeah, you know what? Fuck those guys for being so insensitive to the religion of peace and whatnot. And so I don't know if maybe it's just because, like, I won't say the right, but the people you were talking about, like Tucker Carlson and Dave Rubin, like, maybe that argument's already been had and they lost. Like, they can't win it if they start doing it again. But I mean, honestly, I'd not been hearing about this at all. That's fucked up. I mean, that's like the worst thing I could think of is being in a world where even mentioning or like referencing the image of Muhammad being displayed will get you beheaded, and then no one talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is blatant, like, free speech under attack, and like when Steven Crowder gets like one video demonetized, he tweets about it and acts like this is the end of civilization.
Fucking Emp Lemon.
You need to join the mug club or civilization, or
Yeah, you gotta buy a bunch of mugs, or else no one will have free speech forever.
But like this literal decapitation over a cartoon, like, shouldn't this be like the most urgent matter?
Do you think to stand with Charlie Hebdo, Rusty, we should put Muhammad in the thumbnail of this video?
Oh, man. Okay, so listen, here's something else I was thinking about.
You should draw his image and then sign your real name on it.
Well, I did once depict Muhammad as a cartoon version of Rodney Dangerfield, and it had like a lot of like Islam-related Rodney Dangerfield-style jokes.
Like what? Hit me with some.
Oh, jeez. My wife joined ISIS. She said she wanted to practice infidelity. It was like, I don't know. It was like fucking shit like that. I'd have to look them back up. Muhammad said he was talking to his lawyer. He said to his lawyer, he says, what do I do about all these depictions of me being passed around? And the lawyer says it's a drawn-out process. That is really fucking stupid shit. But wouldn't you be scared, or like wouldn't you be a little like, how quickly after this teacher talked about Charlie Hebdo did he get his head cut off? You said it was the next day?
Which of the kids ratted him out to ISIS? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, who snitched? It was the next day, I think. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you be still? Did you forget that this is something that can get you beheaded almost instantly? I'd be the fuck out of town.
He had a Muslim student in his class, and he asked him to go out into the hallway while he showed the classroom the image. So then,
really,
he gave him the option.
Yeah, yeah, and then the student's family found out, and it spread among the Muslim community, where they all said this man is sharing pictures of Muhammad, and then something happened. I think that's the timeline I got.
Something happened.
Don't
He
go
got
to
his
France.
head cut off.
Some people did something.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and then some people protested somewhere because they didn't like what he did.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've won. They've when I say they, I'm not talking about a huge religious culture war, but like the idea of the free speech argument, like should we be able to show a depiction of Muhammad, that has lost because I think everyone is really just afraid of getting their head cut off.
No, I think we're all just used to it, or at least I am. Like, yeah, that happens. It happened in France before, so it happened again.
No, I'm saying, like, why don't people do it more often? I mean, with South Park not being able to show Muhammad and like all these people who are really free speech absolutists won't touch it, and I think that's probably because they don't want to get their head cut off.
Hey, I'll have you know, my personal hero, the amazing atheist, has drawn Muhammad many a time, and he is still alive, Rusty.
Respect.
It's like
there's a guy named Bosch Foston who he's been drawing Muhammad for many years, and he like publishes like full books, like glossy paper books full of different Muhammad cartoons and like trading cards and stuff, and then. So he gets all these like death threats on like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and then he published a book called Peaceful Death Threats, where like Muhammad is the narrator, like showing you all these different screenshots of like Facebook messages and comments about saying like Islam is a religion of peace, and I'm gonna come kill you if you show the prophet again. This guy gives no fucks.
So I mean, I guess that really kind of. Is a little eye-opening. I mean, it's the reality that anyone doing this is going to instantly get beheaded is like those. The chances of that happening are probably really low, but whenever it does happen, everyone's going to hear about it. But yeah, I remember.
And evidently, nobody's going to care.
Like, there used to be like a yearly Draw Muhammad Day that like Thunderfoot, I think, was.
Oh yeah, and
promoting that.
Didn't they protested against it or something?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah.
But that's pretty funny. Make a good buck on it. I mean, honestly, if I was that guy, I'd be a little worried that one day you're gonna walk down, the wrong alleyway in fucking Saudi Arabia, and then run into.
It sounds like he should just stay out of France and he'll be okay.
I bet if the media blasted
or most
everything
of
about
Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Europe anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like cancel culture. Like you can be Shane Dawson for 10 years and have all these skeletons in your closet, but then it just takes like a handful of influential people to start like pointing at it and be like, look what he's been getting away with, and then people start to sort of like get indignant and riot and basically turn violent. Like with these Muhammad cartoons, like people, they do them all the time, and then a certain cleric will like shed light on it, and people start to look for the guy.
Do you think that keeping yourself in the public image and addressing the death threats and kind of like going along with that is why a lot of these people end up getting canceled or murdered? Like Shane Dawson, if everyone's going in his back catalog and trying to cancel him for something, if he just never addressed it, would anyone even care a few days later?
Well, the idea is to avoid pissing off the beauty community. If you just don't piss them off, you'll be fine. Like Shane decided for no reason at all to like release like a screenshot of a note, one of these iPhone notes, like, I'm sorry, I need to tell you my truth about like why I'm leaving the beauty community, which was so unnecessary. And he just started talking shit about the beauty community. So he pissed off the most vindictive group of people on the internet. And then they started like digging up everything and and emphasizing it, and his shit got pulled from stores, like his books. Will Smith's kids started tweeting at him. Like, it just completely blew up in his face. So just stay away from the beauty community and stay away from the BTS
Yeah,
stands,
I was about to say.
you know? You don't fuck with them and you'll be fine. Like, if you draw Muhammad and then you piss off the beauty community or the BTS stands, they'll go tell the Muslims on you.
Now, can we convince the BTS stands to side with the drawing depictions of Muhammad argument, so we can turn Islam versus BTS?
We need BTS to draw Muhammad. That'll
BTS's Draw Muhammad contest.
Oh, if I was running for president, like, wouldn't you just like shout out the BTS people? Wouldn't that get you? Or like have like James Charles as your running mate or something? You're guaranteed.
I'm surprised Kamala Harris hasn't done that yet.
Well, I mean, they're just so fucking out of the loop. Like they're still on Despacito memes. Like they're a few years behind. But yeah, just say something like BTS, together we can defeat Donald Trump, and you got a ton of people who are dedicated.
Oh yeah.
But who knows what BTS actually believes? They're probably
the
hardcore
BTS
authoritarians.
Are they?
The BTS people are the ones who like found out that Joji is Filthy Frank and like started like getting upset on the internet about it, and it blew up.
They're smart too.
Started the Hong Kong riots.
They're the ones who started the Hong Kong riots.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
When they found out about Joji.
You know, all the shit in Syria started as like a nice little protest like 10 years ago. It was just like, we want political change. It was like a peaceful protest. You know, the Arab Spring. It was supposed to be like a positive thing, and one thing escalated, one thing led to another. Finally, it's like this ongoing civil war. It's like it's turned into like Game of Thrones over there.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's like, if we're trying to compare that here or see some sort of roadmap of where we might be headed, who knows if it'll get that bad, but it's definitely worse than it was a few months ago and more divisive. I mean, of course, it always kind of has spells like that here where it'll seem bad for a little bit and then everything kind of just goes back to normal and everyone forgets that they were outraged. But are we in the middle of the collapse of the country as we knew it?
That's what scares me. But I mean, people, they do tend to sort of cool down. You know, like in Syria, they're up against an actual dictator, and the dictator immediately started like killing them. So they got more angry, and like they started getting weapons, like, you know, snuck into the country, and it turned into like ISIS versus Assad. Like it turned into like Alien versus Predator type shit, like just a bunch of really bad people fighting for power. But I mean, over here it's like people got really, really worked up, and like for like a month everyone was like apologizing for how racist they are, even if they've never done anything wrong in their life. They're just like, I've realized how racist I am, and like everyone's nailing themselves to a cross, and that seems to have kind of died down. I tend to think that kind of thing isn't going to happen more than once every like few years, like for people to be that like emotional to the point where they're nailing themselves to a cross for not doing anything.
And I think the reason why, like, people here can get so outraged and really be ready to want to start like a civil war and then kind of just go back and pretend like it never happened and be complacent a year later is just because we actually do all relatively have a comfortable life that, you know, there's not a terrible amount that's being sacrificed by going out and, like, I don't know, hitting someone in the head with a bike lock or fighting the cops for a month while you can still get away with it. But, like, you know, as over there, there's actual troops that are assassinating you. And some would argue that, you know, people are being killed in the streets every day here. But I think deep down, everyone knows that they're relatively comfortable in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, not only is our standard of living much higher, but like our values are way different. Like people tend to like appreciate like rule of law and just like general civility. So like, I don't know. It's just like it's a completely different mentality comparing like the Middle East to America. Even at America's worst, it's like sort of understood that violence is not the answer. But it's obviously it's pretty surreal to see some of the violence.
Oh yeah, I mean, and not only seeing it, but I mean, where I live, it's a pretty liberal town, and people are actively and very supportively, promoting the violence. At least they're, in their Facebook statuses, they'll say that. But I don't know how many of them are actually willing to go out and take like a rubber bullet round to the eye. But I just feel like it's gonna die out. If Trump wins, there's going to be a little bit of rioting, but when they realize the riots can't really get him out of office and he's going to be there for the next 4 years, it's just going to turn into something else. We'll be outraged about something completely different in 6 months.
Yeah, good question. Because like when Bush was president, there was these anti-war protests.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that was mostly the first like half of his first term. That's when it was really at its climax. And then he won a second time, and I think it's sort of, people just kind of mellowed out. Then with Obama, like as soon as he was elected, there were all these Tea Party protests. And so people were really, really serious about opposing Obama. And then he won again a second term. And like people just sort of adjusted to it. So I wonder if Trump wins again, if it'll be like that. Just like, all right, you know what? Maybe Trump is okay.
Well, I mean, and what my theory is, and I'm not sure if it's even a crazy theory or not, but it's just that all these protests and riots are just funded by politicians trying to win an election. So it's like once they realize they can't win the election, then they stop putting money into, supplying rioters with tent houses and food
bricks.
And weapons. Yeah, and bricks.
Do you really think that the majority of protests are like being directly funded by this invisible hand of tyranny?
It's not invisible.
Yeah, I do.
I think that's ridiculous. I know a lot of people who have gone out protesting genuinely and they didn't get paid squat.
But they didn't. That's not that everyone's getting paid to do it.
Yeah, they were following the guy who was getting paid.
So what? So can you take me on this process? Like, let's say you're a politician. Why would it get you elected for people to be rioting?
Well, because all right, look at it. If people aren't rioting right now, and there isn't this huge display, a massive industry's display of, it's anti-police now, but then it switches to COVID. It's creating division, and if you can aim that division towards your opponent, that being Trump, then you have everyone's sick of it. And unless someone's a hardcore Trumper, if they're sick of it and they're sick of these riots and these protests, and they can see an easy cause for it, and they say, ah, man, this guy Trump, I mean, look at the world, it's all falling apart. Must be him, get him out of office.
Yeah, and the average person isn't paying attention.
Yeah. I mean, because isn't that what they tried to do with Bush? I mean, the world was falling apart. It's actually funny, going back to the Bush days, when you think about what the world was like then, it was almost like a cartoon version of what's happening now. Like all the criticism against him, there was just kids' books about, or there was like a cartoon on Comedy Central.
Lil Bush?
Yeah, like Little Bush.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Was it real?
That's my Bush.
Yeah.
And they had little Condoleezza Rice and, little everybody.
Yeah, that's how we handled political discourse back then. But, now it's trying to secede from the nation again.
Yeah.
But hold on. But these BLM, like round one was during Obama's term.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, honestly, by the end of leading up to 2016, that's when you not first started hearing, but like consistently we're hearing about unarmed black man gets shot by the police. Like there was a new story every month. And then it kind of just died off once Trump got elected. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it. Like if keeping that in the news cycle was some sort of way to persuade people to vote a certain way or not. But it died off, and then it just picked back up like 2019 or late 2018.
Yeah. I didn't know Candace Owens was the host of the show, but yeah, no, I think, no. But no, I mean, look,
Do I sound crazy? I don't know.
No. I mean, she emphasizes that as well. Look, I think there's a lot of truth in what you're noticing, which is that like these things tend to start to happen mysteriously around election time when certain things need to be emphasized more than others. Just like when there's people dying over cartoons in France, you would think that would be like Dave Rubin and Tucker Carlson's #1 priority. Like, oh my God, the American way, you know, the rights of the individual are being threatened in a neighboring free country. This is like the battle of our lifetime. But no, it's Hunter Biden's laptop. That's the most pressing issue. But I mean, I think you're right, but also like what makes people so vulnerable? What makes people so easily manipulated? I think is sort of another question, and I think that has a lot to do with like the values in the culture and how people look at the world. You know, so
I think a lot of what makes people so vulnerable is on a very personal and local community level. People do not want to be the outlier. They don't want to have the opinion that isn't the common opinion, because then people are, you know, now you can be like pinpointed as the racist, or they'll just say, oh, that guy's a crazy right-wing conspiracy nut because, I don't know, because you're not like gun-ho BLM or something. And it's easier. Everyone's got their own lives, and everyone's not just so constantly absorbed in politics and looking into all this stuff. So it's easier for them just to side with what everyone else is doing and be in the norm, because that's evolutionarily, that's the safest thing to do. Mm-hmm. You know, be with the pack. And so it's the turning people against each other is the best way to get everyone on one side, because once you start building momentum, you snowball, and then eventually you have the majority opinion, and everyone else just has to kind of play into that and not ask questions.
Is that evolution, or like is that the way we've been educated in American schools? We were taught like be part of the group and get along with everyone and work in teams. Like I tend to look at the education. I tend to look at like the philosophy and the culture as sort of what shapes the culture. Because if you just say, well, evolutionary, we all want to fit in, like, aren't you the exception to that? You're like you're going against the grain every day. You're pissing off people. I think all of us here in this call are like in some way standing up against the status quo in one way or another.
Yeah, but I'm also canceled in my hometown, and a lot of people don't like me. So like,
Rusty, why are you canceled in your hometown?
Well, I just did this. You know, it was just like a little comedy skit amongst friends.
So, well, this is interesting. What made you choose that comedy skit over being accepted by the community?
He was trying to join a different community, I think.
That's it? That's all it is? Is that what motivates you to make YouTube videos? Is a community? Where's my community?
I don't know. I listen, man. Here's the thing. I'm an alcoholic, and I like to get shit faced and fuck with people if I have them over. So I dressed up in blackface, and someone posted a picture on Facebook, and then everyone saw it. No one likes me anymore. But I mean, listen, man. I'm not like hardcore like anti.
He's so ashamed. You can hear it in his voice. He's so embarrassed.
Am I?
Yes.
Nah.
You just met Rucka like an hour later. You have to explain to him that you were caught doing blackface a week ago.
Well, I mean, it is interesting what you're talking about, the education system. I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion on that because I don't really think these things through. But you think that it's our education and teaching us that we need to work in teamwork. That's what makes everyone think a certain way.
Well, that's a big part of it, the teamwork element. But also they teach us you're part of a group, you're part of a community. Oh, you're black. Oh, here's your identity. Or you're a woman. Here's your heritage. You're a part of a lineage of women. Right. You're a white guy. Well, you got to feel a little guilty for that. I mean, there's your little red meat for the incels the audience. I'm joking, of course, but yeah, it's like, but I mean, and it goes deeper than that. I mean, it all roads lead back to the philosophy department. This is like the kind of stuff I think about, and I'm always talking about. Yeah, it's ultimately it's philosophy. It's the rejection of individualism. It's the rejection of like the founding principles of America. It's the fact that the people they all sort of laugh at that idea that the individual can be independent. So that's why your explanation for what we see is, yeah, well, no one wants to be the outcast. Yeah. But okay, isn't that just a symptom? You know, isn't it?
Yeah,
just a symptom?
I mean, yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not easy to be contrarian.
It's not easy. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not easy, and it just comes with, like, if you're not trying to really fully identify with your contrarian opinions or your opposing opinions of the norm, if that's just like something you think about every once in a while, but you're not like fully basing your identity on it, then it's easier just to go, ah, man, fuck it, fine, whatever you guys think. That's what I think. I don't really have an opinion on it.
So you don't waste time, researching on your own.
Well, yeah, you don't waste time doing, researching
like
whenever
everything.
That's not really where your motivations in life are. But I mean, now it's even difficult to not have an opinion. Like, you can't just not have an opinion on politics now, because then you're complicit with the wrong opinions.
Right. I mean, and it's and like the altruism is at play. Like we're all also educated to think like, don't be selfish. Being selfish is automatically destructive, and being selfless is like the only way to be moral. So when somebody black is getting killed by the cops, you need to immediately stop what you're doing and take the blame for it, and be like all of civilization can be set on fire until the downtrodden are
elevated to the level that they can eventually become the enemies themselves.
When will they be complete with their journey? When they're all above the white man, right?
Well, I mean, this whole like tribal mentality where everyone's part of a group and that everyone needs to be renouncing their own self-interest for the sake of the downtrodden. This is altruism. So like I was saying, all roads lead back to philosophy. So it's ethics. It's how we look at knowledge and the ability to know. So skepticism, we were talking about how I used to hang out with these guys on the live streams, the skeptic community. I mean, there's a reason those guys all turned out retarded. I mean, skepticism, we're obviously by the name alone, you can tell where it takes you. You just end up either so half of them turn to the alt-right and half of them turn back to the left.
How does skepticism bring people in either of those directions?
Because they never believe anything is true, so they always go off into a direction. Like
you're open to anything. You need some kind of philosophy. So if you're just completely skeptical, you end up getting swept off your feet by the first thing that looks flashy and sexy.
True.
Like either religion, or you're part of the white ethno state, or you're part of the left. You're SJW. You're here to save George Floyd from the systematic patriarchal racism. So, yeah, this is not quite how I expected the conversation to go. But I mean,
do we have any questions this week?
We'll have to answer those later, because we have a video question from Patreon that I need to answer.
Oh shit!
But one thing that I've noticed with this whole, or not like with the whole thing of the COVID and lockdown and whatnot and all the chaos and rioting, I feel like something good that's coming out of it is that people are no longer taking celebrities seriously. And I could be wrong about that, but it seems like now every time actors or people in Hollywood come out and try to tell someone how to vote or think, they just get mocked instantly. It didn't seem like it was always like that.
Yeah, the internet has definitely kind of displaced Hollywood. So that's been happening for a while, and it's only moving farther that direction. So I think you're right. It's been happening for a little while though, because now like the sort of cynical commentary people, like the Leafies of the world, are able to like make fun of these people.
Right, and they have a bigger closer following because
younger too. Young
Yeah.
people are not dreaming of being a Hollywood star or a stand-up comic anymore. Now they want to be talking shit on the internet. Like that's that's way cooler.
that's the destruction of the world. Give it 10 more years and we're all done for.
We'll see.
And everyone's going to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, good times ahead.
Yeah.
Rucka, is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about?
I didn't quite have any expectations coming into this. So
I mean, do you want to advertise some
No
stuff?
expectations is a lot better than low expectations. So appreciate that.
But I've heard all your names like here and there, so I know like Simeon like is like sort of the outlaw of the internet
in a lot of
That's
ways.
pretty cool. Of course, Rusty Cage is named after a pretty badass number, so that's cool. And of course, Tim Pool's brother.
Yeah.
I've been saying should have like an actual show, like an actual video podcast where you wear the beanie and you just like you scream when you talk. I mean, why the hell not? People, I would unironically watch that.
Or like an ASMR news channel, right?
I mean,
That kind of kills it. It's the almost complete opposite of what he said.
maybe that'll work though. Maybe that'll be what.
Yeah. I used to have a news show, but I stopped doing it, started doing other things. I don't
You
know.
could do like the Tim Pool quiet show, like without the screaming. So maybe people.
What is
will
it? Or
tune in.
like they do with The Walking Dead, The Talking Dead. Every time Tim does a podcast, I'll do a podcast. Breaking it.
Exactly.
You know,
Duh.
like the Talk Soup version is after
Yeah.
Tim's podcast. You follow it up.
Dude, you could be like the Stephen Colbert. You know, like Colbert Report was like making fun of Bill O'Reilly.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
there any
well,
famous examples of like a celebrity's brother just leeching on and mocking his own
Gallagher?
family?
Not a
Gallagher?
brother, but
You heard
was
about
there?
Gallagher?
Yeah. Gallagher's brother just completely stole his act and was also going by Gallagher.
Gallagher too.
Yeah,
Nah,
Gallagher
no.
too.
Was he two? Or was he just
Yeah.
he went by Gallagher?
I think it was Gallagher too, and he did Roman numerals.
Oh.
Well, do we have any questions from Patreon? 'Cause
well,
I think we've done
We've got
over an
we
hour.
got the video question.
All right, how the fuck are we supposed to watch this video question?
How about Reactor
Let's
listens
play it.
to it, and then we'll plug it into the edit, and he can just tell us what it said.
Okay, I like that. It's like a minute and a half though.
Oh my fucking god! Why?
Yeah, why don't you guys just go listen to it? I don't know how to get
How
Okay,
can we
all
all
right.
listen to it at the same time?
Well, we could just cut this in later.
Okay.
Rucka, what are you actively doing now? Like your what's your main focus? Is it your YouTube channel or are you doing things on the side?
It's pretty much music is always kind of my main thing, but I recently revamped my website, made it kind of more of like a store where like the merchandise is featured. So I got some really cool merch. There you go. This is my like first plug. Hey guys, how would you like some badass t-shirts?
Well, where do we go?
Ruckasworld.com. Ruckasworld.com.
Ruckasworld.com.
It's a really great website.
Ruckasworld.com.
Yeah.
Ruckasworld.com. Isn't that great? Like after all these years, finally all that name recognition that the website has from all those plugs. It's like, oh, perfect.
Well, you're definitely going to sell some CDs, hoodies, shirts,
Hell yeah.
hats, and more.
That's right. That's right. And more. Vinyls. We got vinyl. You guys know the Sargon song? I'm the motherfucking Sargon. You know that shit? You must know that. So it's now on vinyl. Bro.
How the fuck are you selling all this on vinyl? Where do you have these in your house, or are these like print-on-demand vinyls?
No, it's on demand. But it's
Oh,
it's
shit,
good.
man.
I've ordered them. It's real.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about that after the show because I need some information on it.
It's all who you know.
Yeah, shit. Okay. Well, tell me who you know afterwards.
Absolutely.
Do you sell a shitty comic book that isn't interesting or good?
God damn.
That's actually the plan. I'm actually I'm talking to Marvel right now.
That's the place to go.
Yeah, that's where you go with your career after you're washed up on making music.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making fun of me because I moved to making comic books from music. So
Oh, well, are your comic books that bad? It sounds like he's not supportive.
well, he's no friend of mine. So
He's exploiting the homeless experience to make a quick buck. It's really disgusting.
Do
It's
the
almost
comic books
fantasy.
have a plot, or is it one of these like open-ended, weird, like
No,
pointless?
no, it's not like some crazy like indie comic that makes
Yeah.
no sense. Yeah, there's a plot I'm going for and
Oh.
an underlying set of themes.
Yeah, he prints
see
off
no
about
problem with
23 pages a year. So if you're really invested in that plot,
Oh.
I hope you're patient.
All right, you know Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So they're like he writes songs and then he does his graphic novels are like they correspond to the music. So for like the full experience, he's got both. So maybe you could integrate the two things.
yeah. And that's kind of how I like to think about it. When I like to think of Claudio Sanchez, Jeremy Way, and Rusty Cage. We're all kind of like the big three.
Yeah. Do we have a way to do this big video question or what?
I guess I can just watch it.
Yeah, just tell us what the question is, and then we'll answer it.
Hi kids, it's TV's Baron Von Brunk, and I'm here today to ask some questions for the Trash Rats podcast. So this first question is for Knife Game creator Rusty Cage. Now, without giving away too many personal details, or doxing anybody, I'd like to know what eventually became of your 3 accomplices after the incident of the stolen slushy machine. Now, we all know your story. Spoiler alert for anybody who doesn't know. You eventually parlayed the outcome of your punishment towards a somewhat successful musical career. However, what happened to the other 3 gentlemen that assisted you? As in, did they eventually go on to become hardened criminals, going on to stealing other things like stadiums and quarries, or did they become successful businessmen, doctors, lawyers, presidential candidates? Did they start families? Did they start smoking crack? Did they die? Who knows? So anyway, what happened to your 3 accomplices? This next question is for Jungle Jimmy. Now this is actually kind of a 2-part question, and sort of a preamble here is that although you did mention a while back on Patreon that you're not going to be a full-time YouTuber, that you're going to do other things and just kind of do YouTube as sort of a hobby. Now with that said, the first part of the question is, will we eventually see a sequel to Monkey Jones Stops the School Shooting? And I guess the second part of that is, can and will we eventually see a return of Vincent the Atheist, and a kind of continuing adventures of that sort? And finally, the last question, the last but not least question, is for Tim Pool's brother. And this question is, when will we see any new content as sort of a follow-up to the Coolero, the solar-powered cooler?
He had a question for all of us. His question for Tim Pool's brother was, when will we see a follow-up to the Coolero?
Oh, it got banned from the crowdfunders. So
Can you go
You
ahead
didn't
and
get any of that money?
re-explain-
no, I didn't get anything.
Oh, that sucks.
Re-explain what the
canceled it.
Coolero is.
It's a solar powered cooler. It's a cooler that uses what is it, Peltier heatsink to cool off of solar power.
And you crowdfunded it.
and it was
and
gonna
you
it was gonna
invented
end
it.
it was
You
gonna end
single-handedly
climate change
invented
forever.
it.
Yeah, I invented it. Well, I didn't invent the chip. I invented the solar powered cooler, and I didn't invent the solar power either, or the cooler. Just want to be clear with that.
And why did they take it down? You were making
I don't
some
know.
real money.
I don't know. Because it was going to end global warming, and I think there's a conspiracy. I mean, why did it only gain $100 on the crowdfunder? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, people are really pro global warming. They didn't want to support your cause.
Yeah, but I don't believe that.
All right. Well, the next question is for you, Simeon Jimmy.
Oh no.
Will we see a sequel to Monkey Jones Stops a School Shooting?
No.
Okay. And will there ever be a return of the character Vincent the Atheist?
Yeah, probably. I could probably just do him on this show and nothing would change.
That's essentially Vincent the Atheist is just you.
Yeah, just me doing a dumber voice.
Well, that's, debatable, but.
Fuck, okay.
All right, this question for me was, what happened to my 3 accomplices that helped me steal the slushy machine back in the day? Like where are they all now? And they all have kids.
Oh,
they're all married.
fuck.
Well, like one of them's not married, but yeah, they all seem like they're raising kids now, and one's like a firefighter, and
They
I don't
straighten
know.
their lives out.
Yeah, they're all their lives are straightened out. None of them are dead or in jail or addicted to crack, as far as I know. but I don't really hang out with them or talk to them too much these days.
When you posted your videos about the whole story, did you send them a link?
No, but one of the characters, one of the characters I was playing up was like this really stupid, like Weasley voiced guy.
Was that Elliot or Roger?
I forget which one was which. I think that was Roger. But the guy, I got a message and he goes, "Hey man, is this based on me?" Because it was roughly his situation, just with a very exaggerated character. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Sorry, there wasn't any incredible circumstances that came from that.
Well, I think that's another, a rowdy, rousing episode of Trash Rats. I think we did it, boys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
Rusty, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah. Like I was saying while Rusty was away, you're the biggest name we're ever going to get on this fucking show. So it's been an honor. Thank you.
That's nice of you. I thought who's the fat guy from Minecraft? I saw him. Didn't he tweet about you once?
Notch?
Notch?
Yeah, you can get him.
Oh yeah, does he? I thought he doesn't like you anymore, Reactor.
He doesn't like me either.
It's not that I never said he doesn't like me. Too. I just said he unfollowed me on Twitter.
Shit.
And he said it was because he wanted his Twitter feed to be happier thoughts.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
That sounds like a very healthy thing to do.
Probably a good amount of Twitter accounts that were weighing him down.
Did you DM him asking, why did you unfollow me?
No, I was talking to him about something after that.
Oh, okay.
The end of the world and his impending doom.
I DM'd him like, "What's up, bro? I saw you're not following me anymore."
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Very abrupt ending.
Yeah.